Okay, let's move down here to the Township Fire Department, Township Trustees. Doug?
I think most of you people have, I know council, you have a copy of my report from last year, and I think you guys reviewed that last meeting. Trustees, trustees have copies of this?
I have it sitting on the desk if they want to look at it. I've got a couple copies sitting on the desk.
Right here.
Is that Doug? This one?
Yeah, right here. Give you a second just to look it over a little bit. It's pretty self-explanatory. 2010, we had 53 calls. It's broken down on the front of the sheet there. One citizen's assist, 6 false alarms, 4 mutual aid calls, 7 fire calls, and 33 EMS calls, and 2 storm spotting calls. So that's how we come up with our 53 calls. And we had a reported dollar loss of around $86,500. And then, you can thumb through it at your own leisure, but on the back it's broken down our calls and how they're charged out to the townships. And basically what I do is if we respond to a call in Blue Valley, it gets charged in Blue Valley. If it's early, so on and so forth. So that's pretty self-explanatory. As far as our equipment and stuff, I'd like to think we're sitting in really good shape. We just purchased about $4,800 worth of radio equipment, and over half of that was purchased with non-taxation money out of our own money that we have raised in the fire department. And the reason for the updating is because of what they're calling narrow banding, and they're basically taking frequency widths and they're narrowing them up in 2, so that way they can double up frequency. Right now we are in compliance with all our pagers, all our handhelds, all our mobile units. So we're online for whenever the Sheriff's Department decides to switch over to paging on the narrowband frequency, their operations frequency. And so I feel good about that. The rest of our equipment, I think we're in good shape. Our station, I think, is in good shape. Although we had some roof issues here this summer. Did that ever get taken care of?
Yeah, it ain't fixed, but it's slowed down.
Right now we have a Firefighter 1 class going on at our fire station here in Early. We have 6 of our own guys taking it, which is a big plus. And they're going to be going to fire school to test for a couple weeks maybe.
The 19th March.
So, I would like to think we're sitting in pretty good shape, so I'll open this up to any trustees or council have questions. I'll try to answer them for you.
I'm not familiar with Firefighter 1. Is there a Firefighter 2? Or
Yes. Firefighter 1 is, I think what's going to happen down the line here is eventually all firemen are going to be required to take Firefighter 1. I've had it for several years. They've lessened the restrictions on it. When these guys started, I find out that they don't have to really test as long as they have some participation and they learn the skills. Personally, it's a little disappointing to me because I think if you have to test, then you have to work for something.
Right.
And, but at any rate, these 6 guys are well on track from what I hear, and they are going to test. It's not mandatory, but I've asked Nick to instruct them that as chief, I have that privilege to ask them to test, so they are going to test. So what we do on training a lot of times is we train on Firefighter 1 schools. And I think it's really down the road someday it's going to be mandatory that all your guys have to train to that. So far we've been lucky that all our training has been paid for by federal money. So I think that's some of the reason that they lighten up maybe the class restrictions and stuff like that.
26 out of how many firefighters?
26. But I think we have, no, I'm trying to think how many of us now are still our firefighter ones, so if you go around and look at a lot of the
Oh,
other
there's
departments.
some that are already.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and myself, I had an agenda here. How many?
About 17, 18.
Once this six.
Yeah, once
These
you-
6 get through.
Yeah, we should have about, so, I think that's actually a darn good number. If you look around, I think some of these other departments are struggling a lot more than that.
Another part of that course, there was some 700 level NIMS training, which city folk, that becomes, the more NIMS training anybody in town can have, the better. But, the six of us, got 700 level NIMS. I think there's a dozen more levels, but
That's for storms and
No,
disasters.
Yes, but it's a
Combination of all the above.
it's a combination of a lot of stuff, yeah. And like I said, we still do, a lot of EMS calls, the majority of our calls, and we have a couple of EMPs and 3 first responders on board.
Am I correct in saying if an accident occurs on Highway 20, Eden Township gets charged for that?
If it's in Eden Township, that's correct.
Have you ever started charging an insurance company on the people involved? We want to be good citizens, but also we are being asked to
If
pay.
it involves like a truck accident or something where we spend a lot of time out there, yes, I have billed insurance companies. Like a car accident, no, I haven't. But a lot of times on a truck accident where we have to do standby, do a little cleanup or, whatever, I have billed insurance companies.
Just curiosity question, how do you bill Eden and Boyer Valley? If they're going west and going east, or?
Right, depends what side of the road it's on.
Okay. This is not a question for you, but Doug, but with the new population figures, are we going to keep the population the same? I know everybody lost population. Are you going to leave the same formula?
No, it'll change next year when I do it for the.
That's probably set for another 10 years then, right?
Mhm.
Does the state tell you what the formula is then?
No, it's
Based on
figured out in
census?
the 2080 agreement that it's a percentage of the
Okay.
population, percentage of the calls.
All right.
There are some departments that do charge for like a house fire and stuff like that. My personal opinion of that is that these people are taxed for fire protection, and I feel that that's our service we should provide to them, unless it really becomes above and beyond, like when you're asking about an accident, that's really above and beyond some of the stuff that we're required to do. And that's why I do not feel bad about charging like a trucking company or their insurance. But homeowners insurance, I just think all that's going to do is drive up the cost for you and me and everybody else that's involved on the private sector of it.
I've just been reading, and not in rural, but urban areas are starting to charge more.
if you get urban enough, they're even starting to go back to fire districts, and if you haven't paid your specific fire tax, they'll let her burn. They'll go put neighbors out and let yours go to the ground. I don't see that being a real viable solution. But they're well, here just a couple months ago.
You see it out east a lot more, and that would be tough to have to make that call to watch, somebody's property burn up and not be able to protect them just because they hadn't paid their dues.
Well, living in a rural area, we appreciate the training you do and the service you provide for us.
Well, thank you. Anybody else got any more questions? You got any questions for the city, like Pam, the questions I can't answer.
Wait.
Mayor, can I interrupt a little bit? Did you guys, has the council been brought up to speed on what the criteria is going to be for activating the outdoor warning siren for early?
I believe you said it would go last.
All right.
They're done?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Elizabeth's not here.
She'll be here in a while.
Okay.
To work or something.
Okay.